Hey seniors, good to be with you today. This is Michael Scott again. I'm your host for Seniors in Action, where we have videos that hopefully are of interest to seniors. Like I say, it's good to be with you. I haven't produced a video on this channel for a couple of weeks, and that's because I've been on vacation. So my wife and I traveled up to Glacier National Park a week or two ago with kids and grandkids, and I'll talk about Glacier National Park next week. But this week I want to talk about a stop that we made on the border of Montana and Idaho in northern Montana, the northwestern side of Montana, and that was at the Hiawatha Trail. And the Hiawatha Trail is actually a bike riding trail. It's built in the place of an old railroad track that used to go through the area. And it's fascinating. The history is fascinating. The trail is great. I mean, it's beautiful, and it can be done by almost anybody. They even have 5-year-old kids able to do this trail. So most senior citizens would be able to do that if you can ride a bike at all. So anyway, we're going to talk about the Hiawatha Trail in the next few minutes, and that'll be our video today. But I encourage you to do it because it's a great experience. So you'll see our affiliate marketing disclaimer here, which we show every time, and basically says if you buy something from the description on this video, we get money, which is nice for us. So let's go ahead and get into it and talk about the Hiawatha Trail for a few minutes, and try to encourage you to go up there if you're in that area of Montana or Idaho and take a ride on the route of the Hiawatha. This is a picture of the Taft Tunnel. We just finished our trip through the Taft Tunnel, and you can see the little specks of light there are headlights from bikers coming through that tunnel. This tunnel starts right at the beginning of the trail when you ride the Hiawatha. It's 1.66 miles long, and you definitely need a headlamp. And so if you rent your bikes at Lookout Pass, they will provide the headlamps and stuff. So the Taft Tunnel, there's a bunch of other tunnels that you go through too. So I mean, it's pretty fascinating. It would have been a huge job to build the railroad tracks through this country and up on into Washington State. All right, this next slide tells you where the trail is exactly. You can reach it from the Idaho side or from the Montana side. We actually, on our way to Glacier National Park, stayed in Missoula, Montana, and then we drove over, and it was probably about an hour and a half drive from Missoula to Lookout Pass, which is the pass that separates the border of Idaho and Montana. And at Lookout Pass is where you can rent your equipment if you don't bring it with you. But the actual trail is then you backtrack going back toward Missoula for about 5 miles to get to the trail. And so I'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. But this actually tells you how to get there. It is really out of the way, but if you're in that area of Idaho or Montana, you really ought to stop with your family and have your kids and you, grandkids, whatever the situation might be, ride this trail, ride the Hiawatha. Here's a map of the trail that you might be interested in. This thing starts basically at the highest point in the trail, and then it's a steady downhill all the way down to where the trail ends. And you can either then take a shuttle back, which I'll talk about in a few minutes, or you can actually ride the trail back again. It's about a 15-mile ride, but not a bad ride as you're going downhill. So you go through the Taft Tunnel, which is, like I said, 1.66 miles long on this map. And then there are many other tunnels that you go through too that you'll need a headlamp on. Some of the tunnels you don't necessarily need a headlamp on because they're pretty short, but many of them you do. There's also trestle bridges that you go across, which are really cool. I mean, this thing was built in the 30s, I believe, this track, and I think the 30s or 40s. And these trestle bridges are just very sturdy still and stuff, and they're neat to ride your bikes over and see them down in the distance as you know you're going to come to them. So it's just it's a very cool ride. So here are the prices for riding the trail, and these are 2020 prices. The trail has now closed, I think, for 2020, and so if you plan to ride it, you're going to have to make your plans for 2021 or later. But so these prices may change, but this is what it looks like. So you have a trail pass that you have to buy, and one for adults, one for children, a little bit less for children, and then you've got your bike. And you've got to get your bike. You've got the bike comes with a headlamp on it, which is a pretty good headlamp, and it comes with a helmet. So you've got everything on your bike. They are mountain bikes, pretty good bikes that I thought anyway. Then you'll need a shuttle pass if you don't want to ride the trail back anyway. And when you get to the end, if you don't want to ride 15 miles back, you need a shuttle pass that will take you from the end of the trail back up to the Taft Tunnel, and then you're going to have to go through the Taft Tunnel again to get back to your car, where the parking spot is for the car. So you may also, if you don't have a bike rack or something, and you can rent bike racks there, but you can have them shuttle your bike from Lookout Pass to the trailhead, which I mentioned earlier is about 5 miles. And so if you do that, you've got to pay for that as well. And so that's what all these different prices are. And there is a pretty large parking spot at the trailhead, and so you go out through the Taft Tunnel, then the shuttle drops you off just the other side of the Taft Tunnel on the way back, and you have to go back through the Taft Tunnel again. So you need to make sure that you turn your light off after you get through these tunnels, so that you'll have some batteries to get back, because those if you leave your light on the whole time, the battery may be run down and you don't have any light to get back through that Taft Tunnel. So that's certainly something to think about as well. So here's some additional information. I've got the website there that you can check out. They've got quite a bit of information there. And then they've also got a video there, and I've got a link to that video. You'll have to copy that into your browser instead of just click on it. But it's a fairly nice short video about the trail that you can watch as well. So the trail actually closes tomorrow for the 2020 season. And you'll notice there that I said the trail is about 15 miles long, which it is. And so you can go 15 miles one way, and then if you want to, you can go 15 miles the other way or take the shuttle. We actually took the shuttle. So interesting facts about the trail. If you look up the history on the website, it's just fascinating about how they built that train track through there. And some of the trains were actually called Hiawatha, and so that's presumably where the name of the trail comes from. But anyway, there's a lot of fascinating things to see out in the West and the Rockies with national parks and stuff. So I'd encourage you to go to Glacier National Park. It's a beautiful park, and drop down and ride the Hiawatha, and then drop down into Yellowstone and Teton National Parks and visit those as well. You would, I think, really enjoy it. Your family would enjoy it. So I want to thank you for tuning in and watching this week. And next week I'll talk a little bit more about Glacier National Park. I actually backpacked the park last year. This year I just went day hiking in the park, but very nice park, and like I say, it's just it's a beautiful place to spend a little bit of time.